market. Our next guest says the new health care bill is a killer for small businesses like his own. Jim Garland is the CEO of Sharp Details. Jim joins us now in the studio. So Sharp Detail, and then there's the book as well, The Practical Guide to Exceptional Living. Sharp Details does what and has how many employees doing?
We have 55 employees, and we clean corporate and private jets from Virginia to Connecticut.
So you're in this zone, and it's just very interesting to go through the mechanics of how you're preparing for this, because you have 55 employees.
Correct.
You're just over that 50 threshold. You know, if you had 45, you'd probably be in a better situation, right? If you had 10, you'd be happy about this bill. Instead, you hate it, don't you?
But I really don't like it, and you brought up an interesting point, and that's the 10 employees. You know, if you have 10 or less employees, they keep talking about these business or these healthcare tax credits. But if you really look at the fine details, there's a lot of criteria that these businesses have to reach in order to get that credit. You know, they have to have 10 or less employees. They have to pay them less than $25,000. In some circumstances, the employees they hire, if you're talking about the HIRE Act, have to sign an affidavit. And so there's a lot of things that go into it, even for a smaller business, to try to get any of the credit that they speak of.
Now, absent all this, if none of this ever happened, your health care costs were going up anyway, weren't they?
Correct. 23% between 2008 and 2009.
So something had to be done.
Something needs to be done,
What
correct.
would have helped you more than this particular plan?
I think it's something everyone's talking about right now, is just finding a way as a whole to bring costs down on health care. And it seems like what's happened is, you know, and my business, like any business, has certain issues, and you attack those little issues. You don't take the whole business and turn it inside out and start over again, which is what it looks like they've done with this health care reform.
So what do you mean by that? You think that they should have tried to make the health care that you provide cost less? So no, you would have still provided it for your employees, as opposed to them going to the government or something like that. How, you know, what's an example of something that could have been done that you were paying more for over the last few years as you see those costs rising? Where are those cost increases coming from?
Well, yeah, and I don't know, because I'm not a healthcare expert, but you know, the cost, you know, and it's consistent. I mean, it goes up 15, 20, 25% every year. I don't know what causes those costs, but obviously there needs to be some sort of reform and something done about it, because, you know, a small business just can't continue to sustain that.
Because they're saying with this reform, now say if you were able to, and it's hard to sit here and encourage you to cut jobs, obviously, but if you get below that mark of 50, then you don't have to pay any fines, and your costs would go down, wouldn't they?
I guess they could go down a little bit. I mean, if you keep your business under 50 employees, you're not going to have to pay the fine. You're also not getting any benefit. But you know what that does is then that restricts a business from growth. Something that I really can't. You know, I can't force my business to shrink. You know, we're always looking to grow. And
you wouldn't get any benefit after. Wouldn't your employees be eligible for those health care exchanges and what have you, so that you wouldn't have to provide the health care for them directly? That would save you money. Right?
The health care exchanges could save money, but what I've looked at is projections and some of the stuff I've read, that as healthcare continues to go up and continues to rise, the exchanges don't kick in until 2014.
Right.
At that point, they're saying, well, it might bring the cost down 3 to 5%. Well, if it's if it's already going up 20 or 25% every year, I mean, it's really insignificant.
So wow, that is amazing. So that's what you've looked into. You said, well, I'm only going to save 3 or 5%. I'm going up 20-some% every year. Boy, that math just doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
What are you going to do, by the way? What I mean, maybe you don't want to give away your whole business strategy, but you've obviously thought about this. What's the next move for you guys?
Well, what we do is in this time, you know, when the economy's down a little bit, your costs are going up. What we continue to do is market and try to grow. And a lot of companies will cut their marketing budget, and we kind of do the opposite. We spend more money on marketing. We've just redesigned our website, which will go live here in a couple of days. Right. And so we're just continually trying to grow the business.
All this stuff's not going to make you cut back on your costs and maybe even cut jobs?
You know, if we're looking at paying those fines, it may look at us trying to keep it, you know,
under 50.
Keep under 50, correct.
Yeah, tough decisions. Boy, Jim, thanks for coming in. Jim Garland, again, the CEO of Sharp Details.